Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the series Wednesday. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The new episode begins with Wednesday being kidnapped by some hooded figures. As the bag is lifted from her head, Wednesday finds herself surrounded by hooded figures. It doesn't take her long to realize that Bianca is their masked leader, and the teens all begrudgingly reveal their true identities. She sees that Xavier is also with her, and they are a part of a group called the Nightshade Society. Xavier goes on to suggest that they should include Wednesday in their group too. Bianca goes on to ask her how on earth did she get there, and Wednesday tells her that she got an old page from Rowan and just followed the instructions. Nothing fools Wednesday, and while they chat, she's already untied her binds. As it turns out, the students have revived the infamous Nightshade Society, which was disbanded 30 years ago when a normie kid was killed. These kids have revived this club, and the principal does not say anything because they are of course really rich boys and girls, but when they revived the group, they had no idea what this group actually used to do 30 years ago. The club is a lot more harmless these days, made for social events and the odd skinny dip. Xavier invites Wednesday to join their elite club, but she refuses. Bianca also tells her that she should join the group, but Wednesday refuses, and then Bianca tells the other boys to untie her, at which Wednesday goes on to show them the rope, telling them that she has already untied herself. She takes the page back from Xavier and makes it back to her room right away. As she sits, she takes out the book yet again, the one she stole earlier. She puts the pages back and things get even more confusing. She continues to investigate the many mysteries of Nevermore, such as Rowan rising from the dead, the prowling monster in the woods, and the foreshadowing drawing in the Nightshade book. But school just keeps getting in the way, like the very next day, all the students are gathered and the principal goes on to speak to them, telling them that they are going to be out on the outreach day. The students have to go out, they're going to be volunteering and doing different work in the different parts of the cities. Nevermore students volunteer in the local community of Jericho. Wednesday has been assigned to a creepy antique shop, whilst most are set to work at Pilgrim World, like Enid and Bianca. Xavier, on the other hand, has been assigned to work at the same cafe Tyler works at. Just like that, all the students have been assigned different tasks. Principal Weems has also signed Wednesday up for a performance with the local marching band at a ceremony later that day, stating how impressed she was with Wednesday's cello playing. The students are dropped off in Jericho, ready to attend their jobs for the day. This gives Wednesday time to catch up with Xavier. They discuss Rowan's odd disappearance. He goes on to tell her that Rowan always used to keep that book with him, and one day, Xavier tried to take a look at the book and Rowan got pissed. Wednesday then asks if Rowan sent him flying to the wall, and he confirms it, wondering how on earth Wednesday knows that. She tells him that it was just a lucky guess. Xavier now understands that Wednesday happens to have knowledge of the past. Xavier is still pretty sure that his old roommate is still very much alive and scoffs at Wednesday's conspiracy theories. She shows him the drawing, and he points out that the other figure in the picture is Joseph Crackstone, the founding father of Jericho. We then go on to see that the mayor is there to welcome all the students, and the sheriff also gets there. He goes on to tell the mayor that he thinks the murders happening in the forests have something to do with the students at Nevermore. He says that he is dead sure that this monster is from Nevermore. The mayor, however, goes on to tell him not to talk about these things on that day and make sure everything goes smoothly. Wednesday decides to swap jobs and attend Pilgrim World for more sleuthing. She trades with Enid. When she asks her, Enid refuses at first, but when Wednesday goes on to tell her that Ajax is also working at the same shop, Enid right away agrees to work there as she is desperate to hook up with Ajax, the stoner. She now has the ticket to the Pilgrim and she can now get into the town. She remembers how Ajax told her that she can definitely get some answers in this town because the picture she has on that page is of a man named Joseph, and he is the one who made this town what it is today. She right away goes to the Pilgrim House because the first thing that he built in the city was Pilgrim House. As the students get there, they're welcomed by a woman named Mistress Arlene, who goes on to tell them that they are going to be working in this great house which was built back in 1625 by Joseph. She then tells them to work at a part called Ye Old Fudgery. There is a boy named Eugene, and he goes on to eat a lot of sweets. This is when the three bullies who tried to bully Wednesday in Tyler's shop, they get there and pick up Eugene to take him away with them. They go on to bully him very badly. Since Eugene has eaten too many sweets, he goes on to throw up, and the bad thing which gets him in further trouble with them is that he throws up on one of the bullies. The boys are about to beat the crap out of him, but Wednesday gets there just in time and goes on to save him. She beats the bullies yet again and goes on to trap one of the boys in the place where they were planning on trapping Eugene. Eugene then goes on to clean himself and tells Wednesday that he has no friends, so the other people are always bullying him. Wednesday tells him that he reminds her of her own little brother, but Eugene is less annoying. She then makes her way to the old meeting house where she uses Eugene's braces to pick the lock of the old door and tells Eugene to stand there. She also tells him not to let anyone come inside. In the meantime, Enid goes on to talk to the boy Ajax. She tells him that she really likes him, and both of them decide to go on a date that night. In the cordoned-off building, she finds a painting that features that blonde Wednesday look-alike and a book called Codex Umbrarum, but it turns out to be a replica. In the meantime, Weems, the principal, and Thornhill are sitting in the coffee shop where they get to see the mayor. She then goes on to tell Thornhill to keep an eye on Wednesday. Her new boss, Mistress Arlene, on the other hand, goes on to realize that she has not seen Wednesday for a while. She starts looking for her and finds her snooping and orders her to leave. Wednesday realizes that this is not the real meeting room, everything is just a replica here. She goes on to ask Mistress Arlene about the real meeting room, but the woman refuses to tell her anything. In the end, Wednesday ditches her duties and heads to the coffee shop where Tyler works. She sees that Xavier is also working there, but he is not too thrilled to see her there. She then asks Tyler for the location of the original meeting house, which is positioned in the woods. He warns her of the ruins and how they attract homeless people or meth heads. She declines his assistance when he offers to accompany her there and heads off in the rain with Thing. Her trusty sidekick strangles a squatter when he marches forward to attack Wednesday, claiming that this place belongs to him and that no one is allowed there. Wednesday then gets inside and goes on to inspect the grounds. There is nothing of any interest there, but she has another vision as they leave. This vision explains how the meeting house originally burned down. Joseph Crackstone burnt all the town's outcasts alive in this building, including Goody Addams' family. As it turns out, Wednesday's ancestor was labeled a witch. She goes on to see in her vision that the mob is on Goody Addams' tail as they want to burn her alive. Joseph is also among them, and he is the one who goes on to tell everyone to burn Goody Addams alive. She is with her parents, and they go on to tell her to run, asking her to avenge them later when she has the power. This is how Goody Addams escaped the burning. In her vision, Goody Addams comes to Wednesday and goes on to tell her that they are going to finish them off, and just like that, Wednesday opens her eyes. She is now back in the present, and she feels like she is not alone there. She at first thinks that the old squatter from earlier might have come back, but when she goes to check, it turns out to be the same monster that killed Rowan and saved her from him. She gets excited at seeing him, thinking that she might be able to find something of note. She goes on to follow the creature, and after having followed the creature for a while, she is unable to see it any longer. The monster disappears just like that. In a surprise twist, she spots how the monster's footprints turn back into a human. Xavier then appears. He tells her to get under his umbrella and asks her what on earth she is doing this thing alone in the woods. She is however upset about having lost the trail of the monster. He now believes Wednesday's theory about Rowan, having received some unusual text messages from his old roommate. They discuss Wednesday's psychic abilities, and he confesses that his father, Vincent Thorpe, is a famous psychic. He advises her not to fully trust in these visions. Xavier explains that according to his dad, they are not rooted in logic but are triggered more by emotions. Wednesday isn't deterred as she needs to stop the ensuing tragedies from becoming a reality. She then makes her way back to the town with Xavier. The rain clears and it's time for the unveiling ceremony for a new town monument. The mayor and the press are all in attendance for this significant event. Joseph Crackstone's bronze statue is revealed and the band plays a Fleetwood Mac cover. Wednesday also has to perform as she is there to play a cello. Things are going a little too well though, and soon enough, Ving lights a match to stir up some more trouble. The statue is dramatically blown up, and as the crowd disperses, Wednesday continues to play. She is the one who told Thing to do this because she has now gotten to learn what kind of man Joseph was, and she plays on as the statue burns. Principal Weems gives her an evil glare as the chaos erupts around them with sirens blaring in the distance. Wednesday is clearly the prime suspect. A furious Principal Weems scolds Wednesday for her obvious involvement in the explosion. Although the student says her hands are clean, the principal calls Wednesday a trouble magnet and warns her that she's on thin ice. While they argue, that homeless man is attacked and killed by the monster. The old man had a camera in his hand while he got killed by the monster, so the camera clicks some pictures of the monster in action. Enid, on the other hand, organizes a date with Ajax, but he gets caught up when he accidentally turns himself into stone while taking a shower. He mistakenly looks at himself in the mirror, which is why he turns to stone. Meanwhile, Marilyn sneaks into the secret lair of the Nightshades, whereas Xavier tries in vain to hide some large claw marks on his neck, and with that, the episode comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get more recap video of Wednesday.